Te Pāti Māori are not having a good time and things are imploding.
The government unveiled its budget in May last year. Te Pāti Māori and Toitū Te Tiriti led protest outside Parliament. It was also the day Toitū Te Tiriti spokesman Eru Kapakingi, son of MP Mariamino Kapakingi, allegedly tailgated through Parliament security, refusing to use his own Parliament access card. A letter Te Pāti Māori claims is from Parliamentary Services alleges Kapakingi abused security staff using vulgar language, racism and threats of physical abuse, allegedly calling a security guard a white bald-head, adding, "I will knock you out."
I thought it was only cis white males that were into violence. I need to send a memo to Marama.
The details surfaced overnight as part of a dossier of documents sent by Te Pāti Māori executive to its supporters. It comes in response to allegations by Eru Kapakingi, a former vice president of Te Pāti Māori, of a toxic environment within the party.
It's very much a model that is a dictatorship model.
The dossier includes an email sent by John Tamihere addressing Mariamino Kapakingi's budget overspend by what he claims is more than $100,000.
Okay, so I am interested in two aspects of this. Firstly is, it's interesting, this whole movement, and now there's these claims of violence. Although, actually, were you in the country when they did a reshuffle, or a recentering of the Te Pāti Māori, and then somebody asked the co-leaders a tough question, and Rauri Waititi manhandled Deborah Ngārewa Pākara. Did you see that clip?
I was out of the country. I was thinking about when they removed Kapakingi as the whip. This was the early problems, but no, I was not in the country, but I have seen the clip. I mean, quite extraordinary, Bob. I mean, that's a physicality which is not required. It does show you tensions in the leadership. But as a general comment too, you imagine, well, actually, we don't even have to imagine. Think about, was it 2 months ago when Nicola Willis stood in the PM's podium and gave a talk? It was almost front page news, and they kept referencing it day after day. This stuff with Te Pāti Māori and Toitū Te Tiriti, this is serious stuff, and yet they're covering it. But reluctantly, it's not leading the news every day, which it probably should be.
Okay. Just for those who haven't seen it, I mean, I just want you to know that if I manhandled my wife, or if Simon manhandled Rachel in this way, we'd be on the front page of the newspaper. Just have a watch of how they respond to this interview. Debbie goes to answer it.
What's your response to allegations of a dictatorship model?
Good on Mikey, thank you. You first can thank Mikey for that one. Kia ora.
Can I ask you
Yeah, incredible. I find it amazing, but the media have turned a blind eye. No, it's apparently how they operate in Parliament. Of course, you were away when Irini Kaipara did her speech, and they had this beautiful waiata. She'd already gone over time and ignored the bells that are ringing. And actually, just in terms of that, those bells that ring, is that an indication? Is that kind of like, can you wind it up? I mean, what's the expectation when bells are ringing?
Well, they basically are signaling the end or the start. And so, long and short, when those bells are ringing, it really is just signaling the Parliament's over. I mean, you can stand there and keep talking and playing and performing, but the Parliament sort of shut down for the day. So it's really just like a school bell. It really just helps us know where we need to be. So Parliament's starting, ending, and if the bells ring for a long time, it tells you you've got to come down to the chamber to vote.
And as we all know, when someone is speaking and the bell, basically speeches are very controlled as to length of time, because as we all know, there are some people who are asked to give a speech and they give a sermon. The classic about this, Simon, is that Irini Kaipara, this is her first day in Parliament. It's her first speech. And she literally gets blasted by the teacher, Jerry Brownlee, who has to stand up and say this.
The Business Committee decision to facilitate the speech following question time was on the understanding that it would be a statement and waiata, all within 15 minutes allowed under Standing Order 368. That did not occur. The speech went on for quite some time, well past the 15 minutes, followed by a waiata and then a hauka from the gallery. There is no issue with Waiata. There is no issue with haka. But there is an issue with the disrespectful process that was shown last Thursday.
And that really sums it up, isn't it, Simon? I mean, he finished up by saying we're going to look at expectations of politicians in the House. We're going to look at dress, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but really the issue is just the constant flagrant disregard for protocol. If you went on a marae and disregarded protocol like that, I think you would soon know about it, wouldn't you?
Oh, you'd probably get decked by Kapakingi and his mates. Or
We'd be threatened, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a respect. And look, Brownlee is completely correct. There is a place for Waiata and haka. I mean, I've been in plenty of treaty debates where when the legislation is passed, iwi in the gallery will do a Waiata. It's actually quite lovely and beautiful, but it's always within a structure. At the end of the day, the Parliament only sits for a certain amount of time, and the Parliament's there to pass a variety of laws for all New Zealanders. It's not a political play place for the Māori Party. If they want to spend all day, as they like to do, talking on marae, usually about nonsense, go to a marae. But our Parliament has limited time, and they're wasting it. And there's an arrogance too. It's a bit like that Doyle fella leaving as valedictory, and this Irini coming in. Yeah, that they think they're so important that they want to talk for 20, 30 minutes. I mean, honestly, it's an arrogance of the highest order.
Yeah. Interestingly, Catherine says, Simon, you look like you've had a holiday. You've looked rested. Actually, I thought you were supposed to be at a conference, weren't you?
Well, it was actually a very good conference, but I will say to Catherine, thank you. I relaxed at one level, but I'm jet lagged and shattered at another. I warned Bob earlier that I might be somewhat incoherent tonight.
Well, I did. I had to fill in at the beginning. Look, just somebody did say, what about the money side of things? I did want to ask you about that. So there's the claim that Mariamino Kingi, who is Eru Kapakingi's mum, and she's just been demoted, and so that maybe that's why he's annoyed. But there is some suggestion that she overspent by $130,000 in her office. How does that happen?
Well, if it's true, it is quite extraordinary. So MPs get about $60,000 a year, not personally, but you can spend in your office up to about $60,000 a year. So that's everything from renting an office, insurance, electricity, tea and coffee, flyers, printing, all of that. So for her to then spend twice that again is extraordinary. If it's staffing costs, that's even more extraordinary, because I don't know of any MP support roles that get paid that amount of money. So if it's $130,000 that she used to pay her son, firstly, that's not meant to happen. You're not meant to employ family members. That's a no-go. And then secondly, I can't think of an MP support role that's paid that amount of money. So, the word corruption is rattling around in my head. And I'd also want to say, Bob, if this turns out to be true, definitely questions around her corruption and the Māori Party's corruption, but we need to ask questions to a parliamentary services. They're sort of the conduit for all of this. Were they strong-armed to accepting the fact that her son was working for her? Did they make up a new employment role with a generous $130K pay package? Who was vetting her purchases if it's, $130,000 extra? Was she buying TVs and couches for a home office or something? Again, it all stinks to high heaven, and it really does reek of corruption if it's proven to be true. Okay,
just a quick question. You can't use the word corrupt in Parliament, can you? Is that right?
I don't think you can call an MP corrupt. You can talk about corruption, but strictly speaking, all MPs are honourable members. And so you're meant to treat an MP as always being honourable. Hence, you can't call them corrupt or a hypocrite or a liar, amongst other things, or a coward.
Okay, but we can call them a hypocrite because, no, actually, I want to call them media hypocrites because there was this imagery. Where's it gone?
We can say it while you're looking for it because, of course, the BSA isn't chasing us yet.
No, look, the media went after Elon Musk because in his excitement, he did what looked like a Nazi symbol. That image above, I'm a bit worried. And I just wondered if I should report this to the media 'Cause I think they may have missed this, but that sure looked like a Nazi salute as well. But anyway, that's just some of the interesting hypocrisy of the media